Me and my brothers are going to heaven, going to heaven with our boots. Me and my brothers are going to heaven with our boots. Mr. St. Peter, the royal gatekeeper, will wander and wow, watching our boots. Mr. St. Peter, the royal gatekeeper, will wander and wow, watching our boots. Mr. St. Peter, the old gatekeeper, will wander and wow, watching our boots.
Oh, that pity you must back and get over that pain.
Me and my brothers are going to heaven with our boots. Me and my brothers are going to heaven with our boots. Me and my brothers are going to heaven with our boots.
Via, allora con la storia.
This is the story of John Horse. John Horse, as we say, is the name the Seminole Indians gave him when they met him and came to know him and learn about his exploit. Above all, he managed to persuade a great number of black slaves to flee the cotton and sugar plantation between Florida and Georgia. This story was told by a young black slave who attended the very first meeting with John Horse and the slaves inside a huge dormitory hut on a spring night. Here it is. We had gathered there in the hay barn. We kept only one lighted candle so that nobody would discover us. The candle was near John Horse, and you could see his face as he was recounted. To let you know, because I have found out that you, my black brothers, know very little of the world outside this dummy plantation. Tell me, I am asking you, tell me how long since you were deported and how many of you were born in this prison, never set in a foot or cast in an eye outside this camp? Let me tell you that living free is really much different. Just imagine, if you have stomachache, you can even stay in bed and sleep, because the land is yours, the cows are yours. Have you ever seen a nigger with his own cow? I have 10 cows, and my wife doesn't have to go to warm up the bed of the white masters. I know, these are little things for sure, and some of you could wonder if it is worth being killed for this. I do understand it. But when I work my land, just the thought that I will be the one who will eat the cabbages, the lettuce, the sweet pumpkins, and the carrots makes me smile. And the thought that the son that my woman shall give to me will be mine makes it even more tasty when in the night I lie with her, and even when I am awake during the day. The problem with slavery is not so much about the lack of freedom as the fact that it changes for you the taste and the value of things. For example, when you think about your woman and you look at her nice round bum, what do you think about? That's it? Look at his face. He's already imagining it. He can see it. In a while he will stretch out his arm to caress it. There, take your hands off it. It's not yours. It belongs to your master. And you too. What a nice look, so wonder you have. It is clear that in this moment you really have the face of someone who is looking at two round buttocks that the rich call gluteus. And inside you, and inside the round bum of your woman, you feel the greatness of God's doing. Immense is your power, Lord, the grace of the things you produce for our happiness. Hallelujah! And all as a chorus, hallelujah! So, quiet. Are you crazy? They can hear us. Our God Our God, who shapes the round buttocks of our women, may God bless them. But then, unfortunately, you know it, soon that awful thought arrives in your head like a drill. Yes, because that delicious pom-pom, taught as a drum, that God created for you and gave to that wonderful female, it is not just an ordinary bum. It's a pom-pom belongs to a white man, and he's the only one who can play it. And why? What right has he got to play it? Because he bought it. It is his. Belongs to him, just as the buttocks of his horse. He, the masters, with the tight ass, with a wife flat but less. He has rights on your woman's bum. But then, men, tell me, for what do you endure all the harassments and pain of life? Toothache, pangs of anger, whips on your back, grapes in your belly, and the shit they throw always on your face, if afterward you can't fully enjoy all the divine and pleasant, uproarious, delicious gifts that God gave you through the woman. Her lips kissing you, her round tits to squeeze like ripe fruits with your fingers, and her belly with the pube dancing for you. For this is worth rebelling for and fighting together with your brothers, because even if you are going to die anyway, you will have had enough time to embrace and play with all the curves and hollows and unfractuosities of your woman, inside which you get lost in madness. God, why did you will that each star, the moon, Venus, the sun, and the earth in every moment remind me of the wonderful bum of my woman? But I know it is very human that each one of us is frightened. The White Masters owns everything. He's got weapons, he's got soldiers, he's got cannons. He will shoot at us. So goodbye to our dreams, and above all, farewell to our sorry ass. But you really know me. Do you know who I am? I have demonstrated. The whites are as stupid as many others. Do you know that I have sold the same two turtles 30 times to exactly the same general? He sure had a nice uniform, a sword, 2 pistols, and a rifle. But he is stupid. To him, turtles all look the same. None of them ask themselves how turtles can swing so agile into the sea, with that shell on like a lid, so heavy too. They don't even know that a turtle can live up to 100, 200, and even 300 years, while he, the general, with his sabre and his hat, can live up to, at the longest, 80 years. That is, if someone doesn't riddle him with lead. How stupid is the general, even when he's on horseback. On a horse stupid like him. There it is, a donkey on horseback. As I was saying, Negroes to him are all the same. He can't distinguish one personality from another. So why, when you think to rebel, the whites are frightening you so much? Look at that door, Negro. Look at that door. It's open. If you come with me tonight, nobody will pursue you. You can do it. After, you will have to fight. But we will be so many. We will be united, and we will have our own guns. And you will be a warrior. You will decide your life. You won't let a master doing it for you. You will buy yourself, maybe with your blood. It will be better anyway. Do it for your dignity. Do it for the round buttocks of the women, for your children. You have got 1,000 reasons to rebel. Nothing good comes from being a slave. In this way, John Horse warmed so much the spirits of we slaves bending on our knee like sheep, so that we resolved to escape. We were about to leave with our meager possessions towards the way out of the dormitory when John Horse stopped us. "Hey, what are you doing? We are leaving just like you say. You convince us." "Well, first of all, take off from your head that hood of lead, that hood of lead, where is it? Which hood? The one that doesn't allow you to think clearly. But what? You are about to start up a rebellion so resolute and dangerous without any plans." "What plans? We are escaping and that's it." There you are, the lack of insight. Just like your masters, this sortie of yours must be extraordinarily powerful and frightening. Before leaving, we must burn all the cotton and sugar fields. A bonfire that will be seen all the way to Atlanta, and all the whites will scream, "What is it? The universe is burning?" No. The blacks have started the revolution. And after? Show me your hands. You don't hold neither a gun or a rifle. You're right, but where can we get them? You know where the armory is? Yes, but it's watched. For this, you need a plan. Here it is. All of you, indicating a group, go and find torches. Place yourselves all around the plantation and together set it on fire. But first, pick up those 2 axes and smash the water pipes of the grey water tank. Now you, pointing to another group, wait till the fire alarm begins. You will see all the guards forced to run towards the plantation, leaving the armory unwatched. Then you, with the axes, smash the armory's lock. Go inside and make sure each one of you picks up at least 4 rifles and everything that is needed to shoot. Obviously the bullets too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 of you. Take away at least 10 boxes of ammunition. Via. Off we go. And please move around without catching the eye. As you were going to work, do you sing a nice shanty? The one they usually go. Soon after, you could see from the plantation over there clouds of smoke adorned with cracking flames, with thousands glittering flocks burning and going up into the sky. When the whites arrived, you could hear the scream, "The water! There is no more water! Something is broke!" When the fast cars of the fire brigades arrive, everything is already ash. Ash, ash! What a disaster. Why, they're all down to the fields. Also the master's palace with his 11 columns facade is on fire. The master and his wife saved themselves, running out naked from their bed, and both naked are screaming, "What a disaster! How did it happen? And where are the slaves? They have run away," said the guards. "But what are you doing there so dumbfounded? Do something, call the police, the army, hurry up! These bastards must pay for this. You must kill them all." 3 days are passed, and the runaways are gone down towards Florida, when all of a sudden, from the high riverbank starts a hail of bullets shot from army's rifles. At the head of everybody, John Horse is, jumping like a demoniac, while all the runaways are crouching to the ground, sheltering behind rocks and trees' felled trunks. John Horse was shouting like a mad one. The white-tied huss up there were shooting like demons, but they couldn't hit him. I, the youngest and the most frightened among the slaves, I hide myself behind a block, my head between my arms, saying to myself, now they're gonna kill him. He was shouting towards all of us, numbed with fright. Do you like the whip, cowards? Do you like they keep the yoke on your neck like a castrated ox? Wake up! Look here! Are they shooting at me? Do you hear they are shooting at me and yet they don't hit me? Indeed, they were shooting at him. Scores of soldiers were shooting at him. And I am saying to myself, now they are going to hit him, so he will stop shouting, that fanatic. But they didn't hit him. And he kept shouting towards us, jumping. Hear what you miss? This is the strength that you are lacking, the strength to believe the impossible. And then raising with his voice. And you, whites up there, with those rusty, prickly rifles, can't you do better than this? I see you forgot to put your God inside the bullets. How comes you don't hit me? It's not that by chance your hands are trembling. He was jumping, twirling, bowing, rolling. I look at him every now and just raising my head a little to see him. They kept on shooting him and they could not hit him. He was miming sweet with the whole of his body over there and over here, pretending to avoid the shots, and was kicking up the air as playing with the bullets, throwing them back from where they came from. No one of us had the strength to stand up and answer the enemy's fire with our rifles. We were 300 slaves, rebels, just escaped from the plantation, but in that moment we all would have preferred to stay in peace, embraced with our pigs, with some nice chains tied to our feet or our neck, instead of being forced to face all those armed whites ready to kill us. Meanwhile, John Horse kept on jumping and screaming, and the whites couldn't shut him up at all. But all of a sudden, that crazy lets out a shout. He fell down over in a terrific upturn and collapses to the ground, his arms wide open, drop dead. My God is dead! Everybody shouts like in a chorus. And now, what's going to happen? What are we going to do? In that moment, another cry goes up. We restart. Hear what we do. Here's John Horse, who stood up straight and begins to dance again. Yes, white tight ass, you did kill me, but I have resurrected. 10 times you can shoot every black who stands with me. He will always rise up, because for us, your bullets are like short pastry. And so, still addressing to the soldiers, maybe you are asking yourselves, how come your shot have no strength? Well, I'll tell you, I have stolen the strength by going to bed with your women. From them I took the pleasure, the passion, the courage that you lack. No, to tell the truth, your women have nothing to do with this. Your whole problem lies with your God. To him you are loathsome, because you are puffed up, insolent, and above all, stinky, chewing tobacco and spitting out black like a white ass. But at a certain point, he came back toward us and began kicking us out, barking. Well then, shitty slaves, will you come out from your shelters or not? Do you mind looking at these lords' faces, your master in their faces? They have came to take you back. If you go on your knee asking them to forgive you, maybe they are gonna beat you gently so that your back won't be damaged, and you will carry on working for them, you, your sons, and your daughters. Your daughters will work double shift. They will work during the day and in the night, lay down with their legs up in the air. And you, tomfools, you will raise the bastard son of your master. Forward! Come to crawl at the white man's feet. The whites kept shooting, but how come not a single bullet hit him? Sure, he is a wizard. and maybe he has organized a magic spell with his black spirits who live in the forest. Anyway, something he was up to, because in front of him there were the British Fusiliers. Those were people who live for war. You cannot really think that all of a sudden they didn't know any longer how to shoot. Their hands and even their knees were really trembling. You could bet that with their eyes they could not hold their aim well enough, because right in front of them there wasn't just one horse John dancing, but 2, 3, 4, a myriad of blacks dancing. At this point, all the blacks, almost in unison, raised their heads and stood up, and I too with them. Right next to me there was Big Tom with his rifle pointed in the direction of the soldiers. Alongside him also Warm Sausage stood, beginning to move as a Queen's Fusilier, quickly followed by Fred Donkey Head and by Jonathan the Farter. Tom Nobody and Limping Jack also tagged along. In an instant, Limping Jack stood on his tiptoes like a ballerina and was the first to shout firmly at the English. Damn! All of a sudden, John Horse calls out in a loud voice, "Everybody on the ground!" And he, before everyone else, throws himself to the ground. All the others quickly do the same. "Now crawl all together towards me. All of you, I need to talk to you." Then whispering, he hisses, "Have you gone crazy? What on earth has got into your head, moving and then standing like a stone post, as obvious as a company of Scottish pipes? Do you want to be a target? Now, on my command, each one of you will stand up and will run throwing scribbles on the ground, stomach-turning scribbles. Hold be tight, he who stands still. When you'll find a shelter, throw yourself to the ground and shoot, taking good aim. And still on the ground, reload, then again get to your feet, spinning, dancing and singing war cries, our cries that tell of lions terrified at the sight of us. And the walls of Jericho collapsed at the sound of our cane trumpets. And the Red Sea parted as for the coming of Moses, who by chance was singing our songs. And so everybody obeyed John Horse. They leaped like panthers and deer. The Queen's Fusiliers were shooting without knowing where to or to who. The blacks, with their crazy zigzagging, caused each Fusilier to lose his mind, so much that they, poor things, begin shooting each other. Sure, it looked like the tremendous malediction of the apocalypse was unleashed against them. The slaves were towering like unleashed saints, dancing and screaming their songs that said, "Run away, lion, in front of our powerful rage of slaves. I am Moses, a slave too, and I am also Jonah, come out pissed off from the whale's belly. And I am Joseph, just come out from the well. Tremble all over, wicked servants of the Pharaoh. We will all knock you down, and you will be judged by Solomon, who was black like us, even though you whites have disguised whitening. Black he was." And it was exactly as in the apocalypse. All we blacks fell upon the English soldiers, who ran away like hares across cane fields, swamps, and cotton plantations, plugging long furrows till they disappeared, often hit by our shot. Horse John said, "That's enough. Let some survive so that they can go back to tell the fury of the liberated blacks." In truth, we all knew that of this battle and the other 100 which we would won along with the Seminole, nobody would have never witnessed even just but one of these episodes. To start with the big academics in the American universities. Everybody shut up. They would have censored us, wiped out. We wouldn't have never existed. Finally, we would completely have become invisible. On the other hand, it would have been too humiliating for America to allow the world come to know that a brigade of miserable blacks had earned the right to exist and to live with dignity as free men, and that by themselves they would have obtained the right to live as human beings without waiting for the arrival of Lincoln. When the battle was over, we picked up the weapons that the soldiers had abandoned running away. Before burying the fallen, we took their shoes off, above all, those of the officers. They were made with soft and well-tanned leather. Then each one of us chose shoes of their right measure and wore them. Then we started walking here and there to take pleasure from it. Then, naturally, all of us began to sing a spiritual song that goes, all the black men will go up into the sky, but they will go with their shoes on. All the blacks will wear a pair of shoes, because you must arrive in the sky with dignity. Even Saint Peter will be amazed. I never saw a black with such a wonderful shoes. Only the rebel blacks have wonderful shoes, because they are free blacks, these ones.
Me and my brothers are going to heaven. Going to heaven with our boots. Me and my brothers are going to heaven. Going to heaven with our boots. Me and my brothers are going to heaven. Going to heaven with our boots. Mr. St. Peter, the road gatekeeper, wandering wow, watching our boots. Mr. St. Peter, the road gatekeeper, will wander around wow, watching our boots. Mr. St. Peter, the old gatekeeper, will wander around wow, watching our boots. Me and my brother are going to heaven. Going to heaven with our boots. Me and my brothers are going to heaven. Going to heaven with our boots. Me and my brothers are going to heaven. Going to heaven with our boots.
Yeah! Grazie, 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 grazie.